In this session, I'm going to talk about enterprise integration tools and systems. And by enterprise integration tools and systems, we don't mean the tools and systems that we use normally for designing our enterprise architecture, but we mean the systems that can help us implement all the designs, or at least partial of some designs and processes that we have been covering throughout the few sessions. The business value of enterprise architecture or enterprise integration is obvious. Enterprise integration is the answer to the problem created by the development of the islands of automation over the past 20 or 30 years. For generations, we have been building systems that serve a single purpose and a single set of users. These systems were custom built using the technologies of the day, many of which were proprietary and may have used non-standard data storages and applications and application development technologies. Despite the fact that technology is old, the applications are still having a great deal of value for us, and may even be critical to the working of enterprise. Many of these business critical systems are difficult to adopt to share an information or services, and therefore we need to figure out a way in order to make sure we can actually reuse them throughout our new enterprise architectural design. Let's talk about the imperatives of enterprise integration. What are really important parts of enterprise integration? So how we are going to integrate the enterprise. The need for enterprise integration is being driven by the changing needs of the businesses. Business cycles are rapidly shrinking, getting faster and faster. The way businesses were conducted even a decade ago is no longer acceptable if a business intends to remain competitive in in today's environment. The changes include how the business interacts with customers, how it manufactures goods, and how it is organized and managed. The changes in business are fundamental and important. Now, let's see what are the important issues in today's business that are really affecting our decisions on enterprise integration. Customer interaction. In the past, customers interacted with companies from defined access points, such as stores and over the telephone and so on, through sales representatives during the defined business hours, from 9 to 5. Now customers may place an order over a web application or through their mobile devices and so on. So they can ask questions about the order, or they actually follow up live on where their order, which stage their order is actually going through at this point of time, over the telephone or over a web application or mobile application, and then exchange merchandise through physical stores, or even sometimes get sent to them. So that is a massive change in how customers interact with businesses. Improving customer knowledge enables the company to maximize the value of each customer. So therefore, customer interaction is important. The other thing is manufacturing. So what has changed in manufacturing? A lot. Manufacturing process is also changing. Whereas companies used to produce goods to stock with low level of customizations. The trend and competitive advantage is at the moment is to manufacture products to products to order with the massive customization. So a production to order in order to reduce the amount of stock and therefore helping their cash flow. The company's cash flow is really important. One of the examples is General Motors Corporation, Information Systems Organization. As a result of reducing redundant systems and integrating across the diverse set of systems, the support, design, and engineering, it was able to reduce the design time of new cars from 48 months to only 18 months. Business in real time is another important issue. A comparative advantage requires making the end-to-end process across the value chain, from requisition to the payment at the end, as fast and efficient as possible. Business operations have also changed, and it's really important. One of the reasons companies are facing the changes of integration today is the way that they organized in the past. Business operations were organized in functional stovepipes, if you wish, such as sales or order processing, manufacturing, finance, and so on. Lack of integration between systems required additional manual steps, such as racking information and so on, increase the possibility of introducing errors. That is really important in business operations. Now, let's say what is the return on investment when we are actually implementing the enterprise integration or going for an enterprise integration, because ultimately business wants a return on the investment they are putting for the new enterprise architecture. One of the important parts is reducing the cost. Personnel costs can be reduced through automating business processes and reducing headcount, providing self-service interface for customers, thereby reducing customer support costs and making information easy and readily available, thereby reducing returning customers. Increasing revenue is another parameter that we are considering for the return of investment. Enterprise integration can increase the revenue by increasing market share and increasing new market opportunities. Customer satisfaction. Enterprise integration can increase the customer satisfaction by making information easily available and responding to customers' requests and complaints more quickly. Business process improvement. Through process optimization, companies can do things better, faster, and cheaper. For example, a large apparel manufacturer reduces inventory costs by 10%, saving millions of dollars through the ability to plan plant capacity better, and optimizing the manufacturing process as a result of that. Enterprise integration in different levels. So now that we are in a stage that we wanted to integrate our enterprise systems and make some reusability, let's say in what levels we are going to do that. So obviously we have different levels of integration. One which is the application integration. Application integration includes a broad array of business integration scenarios. The reference architectures include our hubs and message brokers, enterprise service bus, legacy integration, business to business integrations, portals, mobile integrations. Application integration includes all technologies that might be used to connect disparate applications both inside and outside the firewall at the messaging level. So it's all related to the applications that we are using. Another level of integration that we can consider is the information integration. Extract, transform, load, ETL is an important information or data integration mechanism, which is the workhorse of information integration, but is beginning to fall short of the needs of some organizations. ETL is batch-oriented and aimed at moving large files between applications for processing. The need for real-time access of information across the enterprise as brought about the emergence of enterprise information integration rather than enterprise data integration, and enterprise content management, ECM, is really also important. That plays an important part in information integration level. The other level of integration is the process-driven integration. Process-driven integration provides a business-level approach to integration rather than technology approach. Companies seeking to optimize, they are willing to optimize business processes, reduce operational costs, and gain real-time visibility into key performance indicators. Will be interested in business process management, BPM, those kind of softwares, and business activity monitoring software, and also collaboration software, also called groupware. So these are the type of process integration software that it can be used in order to achieve integration at this level, at the process-driven integration level. Now let's see what kind of actually softwares are available for us, and what kind of systems that we can use literally in order to achieve those kind of integrations in different levels. One of which is very popular, and it also achieves a great deal of integration objectives, is enterprise resource planning systems. The other thing that I will be talking about in this session is the customer relationship management system, CRM, and finally I'll be talking about management information systems, MIS. Okay, let's see ERP. ERP controls all major business processes with a single software architecture in real time. So it is focusing on business processes and functionality throughout the organization. It is comprised of a set of applications that automates routine back-end operations such as financial management, inventory management, scheduling, order fulfillment, cost control, and so on, and also account payables and receivables. It includes front-end operations as well as the back-end operations. These front-end operations such as point of sales operations, field sales operations, services, and so on. It also increases the efficiency to improve quality and productivity and profitability. So it can bring all the different functionalities provided, or let's say if we're thinking of service-oriented architecture, all the services throughout the organization in order to provide a integrated interface for those services to all the users across all levels of roles or stakeholders throughout the organization. Here you can see what ERP is actually covering. It's covering from business systems to supply chain related systems, all the way to process and product systems. Subsystems of those business such as decision support systems, knowledge management, intelligence systems, and business intelligence is mostly targeting the strategic decision making in management, high-end management of the organization. In the middle management, they are working on supply chain, as it mentioned, things such as materials requirements planning, manufacturing resources, supply chain management, enterprise resource planning. The first three are mostly in manufacturing, but also include the bottom one, which is also for service industry as well. And finally, in business process management, product life cycle, and customer relationship management. So it is targeting a very wide range of systems and services provided by these systems throughout all the stakeholders and roles throughout the organization. Functionality-wise, we can talk about manufacturing and management. It works with human resource management. It works with corporate service management. These are the services that you can actually access through the ERP system. So ERP system enables the organization, all of organization, to use all the functionalities provided by separate entities throughout the organization. For example, say human resource management has payroll and scheduling and benefits. This in a stovepipe design, it will be only available to human resource management's department, but by using ERP, these functionality will become available to every other department throughout the organization. Therefore, different roles of management, for example, a financial manager can actually access and see things in real time from human resource services, and vice versa. CRM, customer relationship management, recognizes that customers are the core of business. Okay, so we know everything is about customers, and that the company's success depends on the effective managing of this relationship between the customer and the organization. It focuses on building long-term and sustainable relationship between the customer and our enterprise that adds value both for the customer and the company also. That's what we want to do. And there are different types of CRMs that we can use: operational CRMs, analytical CRMs, collaborative CRMs. Operational CRMs are mostly about managing the day-to-day relationship between the customer and us. Sending out leaflets, newsletters, advertisements, and so on. Analytical is more about analyzing. It's a back-end thing. It's not a customer-facing CRM. It's mostly a management-facing CRM. And it's about how we can use the data we have about our customer in order to figure out strategic decisions for the organization in relation to the customer. CRMs are used almost everywhere throughout the organization. Customer services, users, customer-centric intelligence in both back-end and front-end. And also there are CRMs that enables us to connect to our suppliers. So it actually, when we're talking about customer and supplier, it's not necessarily, the customer is not necessarily an individual. It could be a business-to-business relationship. Therefore, supply chain CRMs or supplier system CRMs are really getting important in that relation. There are also ECRMs, that the scope of the ECRM, we can differentiate 3 different levels of ECRM. Foundational services, these include the minimum necessary services such as website responsiveness, how quickly services are provided through web, and site effectiveness and order fulfillment. Customer-centered services. These services include order tracking. So this is for the customer to use. So it is mostly a customer-facing functionality. Product configuration, allowing the customer to configure their products. For example, if you're selling a computer system, letting them choose the components and so on. And value-added services. These are the extra services such as online auctions and online training on education sector and so on. ECRM, it also helps customer services on the web, search and compression of capabilities, free products and services, technical and other information services, allowing customers to order products and services online. It's all very self-explanatory and doesn't really need me to go through a great deal of details for every one of these functionalities. There are tools for customer service, personalized web pages. We use those services. Customers would like to have those. Things such as Yahoo, you can actually go there and change your user interface and probably add or remove certain functionalities from your page. Frequently asked questions are really important for customers. Chat rooms. In most of the advanced CRM systems, they actually have live chats for customers available if they have questions. So people, rather than calling you, they can actually start typing in their mobile computers or mobile phones in order to reach the organization or sales department. Call centers, more traditional and troubleshooting tools. That troubleshooting tools are also helping reduce the loads on call centers. It's a self-service for customers to troubleshoot their problems. Wireless CRMs also available. The other thing we'll be talking about is MIS, which is a management level. It inputs high value data. In terms of process, it's simple and models. In terms of output, it has summary reports. In terms of users, they are targeting mostly middle managers. And one of the examples, probably annual budgeting, is something that MIS can definitely help throughout the organization to achieve. Those systems that we mentioned access, organize, and summarize and display information for supporting routine decision making in the functional areas. So this tells us that the MIS is mostly about internal operations of the business in the middle, and it has very little with the, say, strategic decision making on the top of the organization, or day-to-day operations of point of sales at the bottom of the organization. It gears towards middle managers. As I mentioned, MIS are characterized mainly by their ability to produce periodic reports in order to make sure everything is in place while we're going. One of the most important things that I could probably mention here is the supply chain management for manufacturing. Is that it helps the middle management to make sure the production operations are uninterrupted for most of the reasons, such as the level of stock or level of inventory, and also parts and things that needed for the operation, as well as the human resources, for example, leaving people or managing the leave and annual leave, and also the personnel throughout the organization, whether a service organization or production of products or producing goods, still is the case. Typical uses of this kind of systems would be replenishment, pricing analysis, markdown, sales management, and all middle management. Decisions supported are more structured, primary purpose is to process data into information, okay, and provides reports based on routine flow of data. Things such as rostering in terms of human resources, or controlling the cash flow in financial sector, or managing the inventory in production. So these are three important examples that we can see the functionality of management information systems through them. Here in this image we can see illustration of management information systems in the middle, how they actually bring those data together in order to provide meaningful information about the day-to-day operations of the organization, in order to make middle management operational decisions properly throughout the organization. And it is structured and semi-structured decisions, report control oriented, and it is about the past and present data. It is not about future, so it is not a strategic system. It's about internally oriented. It has nothing to do with suppliers or customers, and it has a lengthy design process throughout the organization. There are also managerial issues that has to be taken into consideration when we're talking about the enterprise integrated systems, especially those ERP, CRM, and MIS. It's important for us to know how much to integrate. You can't go with the big bang. What is the role of IT? How IT can help? Everything, not everything is about IT, so the processes and also other issues are really relative to enterprise integration. Organizations' adaptability, how quickly organization can adapt to the new integrated systems is a challenge and is an issue, has to be figured out. The customer is king or queen, so everything is about the customer, so we should not get our customer out of sight. So as soon as you get the customer out of sight, then the integration or the new development will go wrong. Set CRM policies with care because you are dealing with customers. And that concludes our session for today. Thank you for listening.